Welcome to Podcast Done For You, the show where we make it as easy as possible for you to make the right choices to advance your podcasting career. So let's get started on the show. Good old-fashioned content marketing face-off. Podcasting versus blogging versus YouTube for your business. I got so excited when I heard this topic coming to me, and thank you for sending it in. I know they wanted to stay anonymous, but thank you for sending this topic and asking me if I would address this as part of the Podcast Done For You show. Now, what you've got to think about is understanding, firstly, what are these three different things? And then secondly, understanding where your business is at. So let's just define the difference between these three different mediums: podcasting, blogging, and YouTube, because there is a crossover between all of them. And I would argue from the beginning that if you do podcasting, well, blogging is easy and YouTube, well, just flows straight from the podcast. So let's talk about the difference between these three and let's define them a little bit. Now, podcasting essentially is the idea of talking to your audience in whether it's a direct fashion as I'm doing right now straight to you, or whether it is with a guest or other people involved, be they regular or not. Now, it is about a conversation with an audience. It's about a conversation with people online. It's about bringing people together on a particular topic and engaging with them. The great thing about it is a conversation. That is a huge point of difference to where you get to blogging. Now, when we talk about blogging, it is typically an article. It is something that has been slaved over for a period of time and written up. Now, one of the difficult things about blogging these days is trying to avoid the use of AI. And I mean that because the temptation is there for sure to use AI in some way, shape, or form. Now, we're not going to get into the whole AI debate right now, except to say that if you want to be a proper blogger, then you're not really using AI to give you more than some ideas. You are writing as you would to be yourself. Yes, you might want to use a few, reference a few things, and that's fine. AI can help you find those references, but do double check them. AI tends to make up a few of those things. But what I really wanted to say was blogging is one of those things where it is difficult to tell if it is the real person speaking to you. There is a lack of authenticity in blogging, generally speaking, because of things like not just AI, but other people writing for you. And I think that's one of the most common things that happens. Often businesses particularly will hire, with no problem whatsoever, some sort of content marketing person that will write things down for them. And they will write the content from beginning to end quite often. They might contain a few quotes from people in the business, but they're writing this for them, themselves, which means that is it really speaking properly as an authentic voice for the business? Well, they would argue yes, I would argue no, because it's not actually you as the business person speaking. It is a edited version thereof. It's a bit like a book, really. Books typically go through a number of editors before they get out. So when you hear someone actually talking about what's in the book, it usually comes out a little bit differently to what the edited version in the book is. Now, if we talk about YouTube, now over the years, YouTubers as a general concept have got a great name, and YouTubers extend to all sorts of things. There's fun and games, there's light entertainment, there's, well, you name it, and it's out there. Now, the thing about it is YouTube for business. Well, what tends to happen when people think of YouTube in a typical way is they're creating something that is no more than a mini webinar. There is nothing wrong with that. There is a place for that, but that is not really what I believe is the most effective. Again, I think it's about having a conversation with your audience and providing some valuable information. Now, again, kept saying again, but I'm going to say it again, is that YouTube is a wonderful place as well for how-to stuff. Now, that may be appropriate for your business, and there may be some validity in you doing some of those videos as well, but it is not the same as having a conversation with them, because a how-to video is not really encouraging people to do business with you. It's encouraging them to learn how to do something themselves. So the difference I find in podcasting is that it is ultimately about sharing ideas. It's for thought leaders. It's talking about strategy. It's adapting mindset. It's talking about how you've done things for other people, not the detailed how to, but what you did for them. It's giving you a sense of the value that is added. And I think that is a big, big differentiator here. So when we talk about a content marketing face-off, to me, the residing winner is podcasting. Now, obviously, I am here on the Podcast Done For You show, so it is any surprise that I'm saying that. But honestly, the truth is this, that when you have a podcast, which you don't have to do in video, as we've spoken about in previous episodes of the show, but if you do, let's assume you do for a moment, if you're recording video, be it for the overall podcast or be it just for the purpose of Reels, it will give you everything you need for YouTube. You will have a YouTube presence because of your podcast. YouTube, in fact, has a differentiated section now for podcasting. So it is an important place to be. And we've spoken specifically about YouTube in previous episodes. But I do want to say this, that YouTube is incredibly important, as is blogging. I think it is important as ever to have great blog content on your website. It builds your name, your profile. It enables, from an SEO point of view, people to find you and find unique things about what you're saying, that you're engaging with your audience. But why do it by just starting from scratch and writing? See, the thing about writing is that if you start with the keyboard, you have nowhere much else to go. New things have to be created out of doing that and require new effort. To create a podcast out of a blog is possible, but it's harder than if you start with the podcast. And the same as well for YouTube, because YouTube is an extension of the podcast. So what I would say about blogging is that you get a transcript out of a podcast, and that enables you very quickly and easily to create huge amounts of content. You can create short and long blogs out of that, posts for social media, etc., etc. There is so much that you can do out of it. And yes, we touched on AI earlier on, but here's the difference. If you feed your AI a transcript of your podcast, and then you ask it to produce, using solely that material, a 500 word or a 1200 word, whatever takes your fancy, article from that using quotes and excerpts, then you're going to get something that is much more unique because it's based on what you have said or what anyone who has appeared on your podcast has said. And that gives you something unique. Now, not saying you have to use the AI. I'm not saying that you shouldn't write some things from scratch. I'm just saying that podcasting makes it so much easier to get that material. So for me, the absolute winner in this content marketing face-off is very much podcasting. Now, what I do want to talk about is in relation specifically to business, as we've kept in mind business all the way in this video, but I really just want to say business needs podcasts. It is absolutely a critical thing for business. The thing is that in order to stand out these days in the marketplace, you need fresh content that is showing your unique sets of skills, expertise, and experiences along with your stories. That is what differentiates you. People still buy from people. And that's the beauty of the podcast, is it allows people to get to know you. And I think that is one of the reasons why it's a bit of a no-brainer for me as well. Now, again, when it comes to business, if you don't think you need content, well, you are sadly mistaken. You might say, oh, I haven't been on social media that much. I don't know if I really need it. Well, let me tell you, if you want your business to grow, you need lots of ways to constantly educate and nurture your market. And the great thing about podcasting is it is there and it is available easily on people's phones to listen to whenever they want to. It's easy to share. There is not much, that people find difficult these days when sharing a podcast. For example, if I've recorded an episode about a particular idea, it's not offensive to someone to go and say, hey, I thought you might be interested in this, because it's not selling. It's not going out there and having a strong call to action at the end of it. Podcasting is about brand awareness, and it is what businesses should be craving, because nurturing those relationships with a broader audience means that you're in constant contact with them even when you are not physically in contact with them. It means that people get to know you even when you haven't got to know them yet. It means that you constantly have ways of educating your audience and, as I said, ultimately nurturing them. That is what businesses absolutely thrive on. Communication is key. Most people think, podcasting is just about a new medium. No, it's not. The reason why they win in the face-off is very simple. Podcasting enables you to produce blog content. It enables you to have YouTube presence. It gives you content for social media, for your newsletters, for your emails. You can create a course out of it. You can create a whole book out of it. There are lots and lots of ways you can utilize the content that comes from podcasting. And the more content that you have disseminating across multiple platforms, the more likely it is that you are going to have an audience that are going to grow and going to be passionate about what you are engaging with. Of course, it's all based on the premise, whichever one you choose is based on the premise that you know your audience and you're talking to things that is going to be of interest to them, because of course, no matter what platform you're on, if you talk about rubbish that they're not interested in, well, hey, you're not going to have anyone paying attention to you either. So that's my message to you. Content marketing face-off, clearly podcasting is a winner. And for those of you who are thinking now, well, that's a bit overwhelming. How do I actually get that done? That is why Podcast Done For You is here, to make that as easy as possible. And if you don't know already, your investment is as simple as 2 hours of your time 4 times a year. And as I say to people, if you can't afford 2 hours every 3 months in your schedule, then you have much bigger problems in your business than not having a podcast. So hit me up. Let's have a conversation about it, see if it's right for your business and see how we can make it happen, because I can guarantee that it unlocks so much for your business. It is the content way of the future. Do you know what? Podcasting is the modern day version of talk radio, which is still the number one rating radio station everywhere, because people love listening to other conversations. Your business should lead that, own it, and make use of it to really grow your business. So there you go. That's this episode of Podcast Done For You. Thank you so much for sending in this really fun topic to talk to. I hope you've got something out of it. And if you have any suggestions for future topics you'd like us to cover, please just hit me up. The contact details are, of course, in the show notes. A reminder, please subscribe, please share it with your friends. We love to hear from you. And until next time, this has been Anthony Pearl on the Podcast Done For You show.